Hey Adam, it's good to see that you finally made a video. It's been like 18 years since you said you were going to. So, I have a couple of points. Rob, you too. Well, you make them all the time. It's not the length, anyway, to the point. I have a couple of points. First, about what you said, Adam, with the writing things down to remind you. I used to have these little plastic monkeys that I would use at work. And what I would do, it's like call like the monkey game. So it's not really a game, but you get them in a box. It's a couple hundred monkeys. And if someone comes to you with a problem, you give them that monkey. So that represents the problem. And you tell them it's like, here's this monkey. When you figure out the solution, you can give the monkey back to me. But until then, you've got this monkey, and so that's your problem that you need to deal with. I'm not going to solve it for you. But in the end, I ended up solving it anyway, so they like became kind of pointless. But I still have them. You should think of getting those, because the monkey can represent your thing that you have to do. And, you know, it's my own fault for not knowing where my monkeys are. They're still packed up somewhere. Because I completely forgot about your Perry Tree video that I was planning on doing, but then I didn't because I forgot. So I could have really used a monkey then. Anyway, too late now. Urine. I dated a guy for a long time, many years, when I was in Houston. And he would pee in bottles all the time, and it would drive me crazy because he would do it in public places, and then he would leave the bottle there. So, because I always have water bottles everywhere, because I use them to plant seeds, I drink out of them. So I would always have water bottles in my car, and he would pee in the water bottles, and then wherever we were, he would leave them in that spot. And yeah, so they don't throw those out, because you don't think, oh, I'll just pour this down the sink, because then you've got pee in your sink. And for whatever reason, they don't think about pouring it into the toilet either, so they just leave it wherever. And the next thing you know, you've got a trail of pee, like, from every place that you've been. So he would do that. Yeah, so if those of you that are living in the Houston area since about 2001, although I imagine he's been doing this for a lot longer, if you see, like, a mysterious-looking bottle in a parking garage, it's probably pee, so don't touch it. Just let whoever cleans it up clean it up. You don't want that. And then hoarding. You brought up the guy. I'm not going to say his name because some people who I know in real life watch this and they know who this person is. But anyway, so we are in charge of this home where this person is. And like that's even hiding anything. Anyway, so one of our friends went in there looking for something. And then he told us, "Oh my gosh, you have to see this place." We're like, "What do you mean?" And cuz like we know the guy is kind of wacky to begin with. He was one of the weird... Oh, okay, I'm not going to say who. I'm not going to say what, rather. But he and my husband were both part of this group growing up. So, it's like so ridiculous. Anyway, so, he's odd. He's very odd. We knew this. We've known this for a long time. And our friend was telling us about all of this stuff in the house, and we were just like, no, it can't be that bad, because we have other friends who've been over there earlier in time. And so then, finally, we went over there, and it was horrible. It was like something that you see on Hoarders. You couldn't see carpet anywhere. And like, it was so bad that when we came back after the first time, one of the guys said, "Did you see the hamburger in the floor?" I was like, "What do you mean a hamburger?" No, we didn't see a hamburger. And then we went back, and sure enough, there was like a whole hamburger that was like in the floor, or at least part of what had become the floor. There was so much stuff that we didn't even notice, like an entire hamburger. And he had been gone for like 2 weeks at this point in time on vacation. So it was there for at least that long. And we were just like, holy crap. And then we made the mistake of opening the refrigerator. Because apparently the refrigerator had broken a year earlier. But he didn't bother to clean it out, like any of the food that was in there when it broke. So everything was left in there. So we go to open it up, and it's just black with like everything. It was like the portal to hell inside. And like when you walk into the place, you get a really eerie feeling. There's no smell, apart from the refrigerator, of course. But it's almost like all of like the germ and disease canceled each other out. And there was no smell in the apartment, which was really odd. Just everything was very, very still. It was creepy and eerie. And you were about up to maybe mid-thigh deep in just garbage. I mean, you couldn't see anything. You couldn't see any surfaces anywhere. And then on top of all of this trash is this huge plasma screen television just laying on top of everything because you can't get to the walls. So it was just on top of everything. And then the bathroom, he'd been living there at this point for about 2 years, but he had never cleaned the bathroom. So it was like brown, but it should be white. Like, it was pristine white before. And it's just, it was terrible. Okay, I'm gonna post pictures of one site, of an apartment in Houston. And his isn't as bad as this apartment. You know, because he's not a smoker and he doesn't have any pets. And I think that's the only reason why his isn't that bad. And one thing I've noticed about a lot of hoarders in Houston is that they all seem to love Whataburger, and I'm not really sure why. But a lot of Whataburger, that was what was in the floor. But it's just, when you see something like that, and like we would always joke that the guy is like a serial killer. Like, it's a sort of thing where if you saw on, like, the news or something that they were looking for a serial killer and it turned out to be him, you wouldn't be surprised. I mean, you really wouldn't. You'd just be like, we were right, you know. But and that's bad. That's really bad. You shouldn't think that about your friends or acquaintances, but it's true. It's true. No, it's not true he's a serial killer, but it's true that, like, we wouldn't be surprised if he was. Yeah, so watch out for bottles in parking garages in a park. Just watch out for random bottles in public places, because that's most likely urine, no matter how light in color it may seem. And if someone that you know seems like a real creeper, they probably are. And they might be hoarders. But, like, I'll put up the link to that page so you can get an idea of how this place was. Because, it still might be that way, because we made him clean it up a year ago. And when he moves out, whenever that may be, I don't know what we're gonna do, what I'm gonna do, because I'm gonna have to be the one to clean it, which sucks. But I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. So, talk to you later. And I post more videos, Adam. And I'll work on some video game reviews. Bye. I'm gonna stop this now. Bye. Oh, and that sound that you hear, that's clued in his noisy wheel.